If this is your first time on Perplexity, then let me show you on how you can use this amazing platform to do some research. Now, I have to put a disclaimer here that I'm not a scientist, I'm not a researcher, and I'm no longer a student, but I've been using Perplexity for quite some time, so perhaps I could share my experience and some simple tips and tricks to use this platform. But before we start, there is something that you need to check first. You have to check whether or not you're using Perplexity Free or Perplexity Pro, because even though they look the same, the Perplexity Pro version offers more features. You can actually check whether or not you're using Free or Pro by going to this icon, by looking at this profile picture. If you're using the Pro version, you're going to see the Pro badge, the Pro icon at the bottom of your profile picture. That means you're using the Pro version. But if you're not, then I think the free version is totally fine. You can still get pretty much 70% all the features in the Perplexity Pro. So I think that's not a problem. So to use Perplexity, you have to start a new thread. So I'm going to put my prompt right here. I just want to ask how to create a DIY solar powered oven using cheap materials found at home. So that's my simple prompt. And to do some research, you have to click on this drop down menu, and then you can click either Pro Search, Deep Research, or Reasoning with R1 and Reasoning with O3 Mini. So these two are actually new features. But basically, if you really want to do some research, at the very least, you have to select Pro Search because it's going to let AI in Perplexity to read more content, read more web pages from the internet, which hopefully will give you better answer. But recently, I think I would argue that reasoning and deep research are a lot better for doing some research. I think it is called deep research for a good reason. Now, I'm going to enable deep research, but there is one thing that you need to know. If you're using deep research, it's going to take quite some time to finish the research. It could take, I think, 2 to 3 minutes to just finish one simple answer like this. But if you're using just Pro Search, it's usually going to finish in just 10 or 20 seconds. So if you are okay with waiting, then I do recommend using either Deep Research or Reasoning with R1 or O3 Mini. Although Deep Research is going to take a lot more time than any of these modes that are available in this list. So I'm going to use Deep Research. Now, click on this icon, and this is where we can select the content that the AI on Perplexity should be reading. Make sure to enable web, and if you are into academic, if you want to create an essay or report, then you want to enable academic as well. And you can also enable social. So basically, this is going to read content from social media like Reddit, Quora, sometimes from X or Twitter, but basically any social media that can be indexed on the internet. Perplexity is going to read that, and I think it's actually going to make the content or the answer a bit more nuanced and usually more detailed. But the last one, like the social option right here, is completely optional. Now, if you're done, you can actually submit the question right here and just wait until it finishes giving you the answer. Now, it's going to take forever because I'm using deep research. So I'm not going to bore you. I'm going to skip forward until the AI on Perplexity giving me all the answer. All right, so Perplexity has done with the research, but now it is still generating all the answer. It actually took about 2 minutes to finish all the research, which I think that's quite a long time. But the deep research feature on Perplexity is actually pretty fast compared to other options like OpenAI Deep Research and also Google Deep Research. Now, the answer is almost done. I think this is quite a report. I can see that there are a lot of details that are new to me, which I never read before. So let me scroll down at the very bottom. Oh, there is mathematical equation here. That's very interesting. And well, that's quite a long answer. So that was the answer from Perplexity using the deep research mode. Now, if you have any question, like let's say I want to scroll down and I'm going to ask a follow-up question. Let's say, give me the breakdown of price of materials used. Now, before I click the send button, I'm going to switch from deep research to just pro search. Now you can technically use deep research again, but given that this is a very simple question and I just want to know the answer based on the previous response, then I guess the pro search mode is enough. And after that, let's click the submit button again and just wait until AI is giving me the answer. And as you can see, it is using pro search. It is not deep research anymore. So it's a lot faster. Okay, so that was the breakdown of the pricing. I think that's pretty good. Now, there is one simple trick. There is one new feature that I think most people on Perplexity are not aware. So in Perplexity, you can generate a chart by giving it a prompt. For example, help me generate a bar graph. Maybe not a bar graph. It's more like a pie chart from the pricing. So click submit again. And basically this is almost like generating a picture on Perplexity, but it is going to do some programming here. So basically the program that it created will be represented by this pie chart, which is useful if you want to create a report. Then this is a lot more useful than just a simple paragraph. That's one feature that I think most people are not aware on Perplexity. And speaking about picture, you can indeed use the AI image generation by clicking on this button. And by the way, this is only available if you're using the Pro subscription. So just keep that in mind. And I can create an illustration or a cover picture for my research, which is very useful. So your content is not just simple text. There's actually some media content like this chart and also some AI picture that was generated directly on Perplexity. So this is very interesting. Okay, it is generating a pie chart, but well, that doesn't look good. So I do recommend to generate image, but clicking on this custom prompt button, and you will have the freedom to customize the prompt to get the correct picture. This is based on this automatic prompt, which is usually really bad at the moment, and that's why I just use the custom prompt and generate something that's actually much more meaningful than this random AI image picture. Another new and fantastic feature that we have on Perplexity is now we can export the content that was generated by AI as a PDF document. So right here at the very bottom, you can copy the content, or you can also click the export button, and then you can export the content to PDF, Markdown, and also recently we have Perplexity page. So Perplexity page is a public page that basically will convert this thread into a Wikipedia style page that anyone can visit. So it's actually very useful if you want to create a public report about your research. But in this case, I'm going to export the document as a PDF, and it is going to be downloaded to my computer, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. So let me close this first, and I'm going to drag and drop the document. And there you go. So this is the document that was generated from Perplexity. As you can see, I think it looks very good. And there are a lot of citation numbers and some references link at the very bottom, which is useful to fact check that your content is actually based on reality and not some from AI hallucination. And by the way, speaking about citation numbers and references links, if you are not happy with that, if you don't want to have that on your paper or on your content, then I actually have made a video about it. You can check it out in this channel. But anyway, there is another thing that I want to show you, which I think could be useful when doing some research. So in Perplexity, there is a search operator that lets you specify a website or maybe time or even the file type that you want to get from Perplexity. So let me show you what are those. There is a site. There is also before or after. And then there's also file type. But actually, it's just type like that. So I'm going to give you one example. For example, if I want to search something and I just want to get the research from, let's say, Wikipedia, then I could specify the site to be wikipedia.org. And I can also specify the time, like before, let's say, before 2015. And sorry, the type, let's say I want to only get a PDF document. That is also possible. So these are just some examples of the search operator that are supported in Perplexity. Now let me give you one example. Let's say I want to know about SpaceX news, but it is before 2015. So I'm going to type site, and then, oh, it's not site, it is, sorry about that, it is before, and then 2015, and I'm going to click the submit button. What's going to happen is it's going to read content before 2015, and as you can see, we got some news from 2002, 2005, 2008, 2012, etc. So this is outdated news, but again, could be useful when doing research, especially if you want to do a research that you want to specify or narrow down the time of the publishing of the content. So those are some features that you can use on Perplexity to do some research. Of course, there are a lot more things you can do on Perplexity. You can generate images, you can create a public pages, you can use the spaces feature to bookmark your content, and actually have done a lot of videos about Perplexity on this channel. You can check it out. But that's basically the simple way to do some research using Perplexity AI. If you find this video to be useful, then please consider subscribing to this channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a great day and take care.